know what he want to do. And I ain't saying Trump coming for everybody. If you're breaking the law, you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing, of course the police gonna come for you. Ain't like they targeted people. They ain't accused of nothing. They had the boys under investigation for years. And then we hear LeBron James' name come up. Man, if that has any truth to it, NBA is finished. But I've been thinking they finished anyway because a lot of times I always say, the way the moves they be making, I was saying it all last year, like they giving up on some things, you know? But that's what happens when you got gambling, you know, promoting gambling. That's how it go. They're trying to blame it on Trump, saying Trump coming for everybody. So the good thing about that's a scare tactic. That means that a lot of people need to make sure their nose clean. As the old folks used to say back in the day. Make sure your nose clean. You know what I'm saying? When your house not in order, and you know everything about to go left, and you get a tip saying it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, you not get caught up. So he really did just warn everybody, hey, we coming. You know? But Stephen A. say he coming for everybody that was against him. You know they did a lot of things to Trump though, man. You know, they tried to put him in jail. They tried to kill him. So, you know, which I don't think he should do it. But hey, don't put yourself in that type of position, you know, and you won't have to go through those consequences. But Trump said, man, he locking down on crime. So you gotta keep your nose clean. And then November 1st is coming up. What's up, everybody? We got 11 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for joining. We got November 1st coming up. Government shutdown, day 24. And like I said in the beginning, on day one, I said, man, my prediction, it looks like it's gonna be true, guys. I said this thing gonna last at least 30 days. And we're on 24 right now. And not no sign of an end in sight, you know? Because Trump said a few weeks ago, all those government programs and stuff, no more. So, you know, my assessment, in my opinion, a lot of the people on the left, you know what I'm saying, that was fumbling, you know, with the other side of the track, as I call it, they had a good run, man. You know, they had a good run. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they had a good 8 plus another 4. Because Trump didn't really too much know what he was doing those 4. And they had another 4-year run with Biden, you know, to do whatever it was they was doing, you know, to be greedy and get some extra money, you know. Well, I called it out last year, man. I was like, hold up. These games, man, they don't look right, man. People giving up on plays, referees not calling the right plays, referees throwing games. You know, it just looked too obvious to me. And I was like, man, this coach is making dumb, stupid calls. Coaches making dumb, stupid calls. You know, all kind of stuff was going on. And I was like, man, I'm starting to believe this stuff is rigged. It goes from everything with a gambling logo on it. You know, but one thing we do know, Stephen A. Smith said that Trump is coming after sports and ain't nobody safe. That's what Stephen A. Smith said. But guess who we know is safe? Anybody in the chat can tell me what sports organization that is safe. Anybody in the chat? Let's see who all in the chat. 22boy77, I see you back. And you don't own a car. Okay. If you say so. Tommy Boy 77, I see you back. You didn't say hello, how you doing? Nothing. Just come in with your negativity. You don't own a car. I bet you won't bet on that. I bet you won't bet. Let's do that. I got time to play today. I bet you will not bet me. Let's bet. You say I don't own a car. Let's bet. Let's make a bet that I own multiple cars, and let's make a bet that they're all paid for. Let's make a bet on that. Too taught. Let's bet. Let's bet. You say I don't own a car. Let's make a good old internet bet. I'll make you 2 bets. First, I make you a bet that I own a car. Secondly, I make you a bet that it's paid off. And third, I make you a bet that it's a newer model than yours. And it's paid off. Let's make that bet. You must not understand the name of this channel. You must have not looked at none of the videos or nothing. None of the training videos and the educational tutorials that I put on this channel. Tuto. Well, pointless. Evidently, Tutu boy pays. I mean, evidently he cares. Tutu boy, he cares. That's who cares. He care a lot. But guess what? It's Friday. It's a good Friday. I had a good day. I got time to entertain the negative comments today. Because Tutu came in here the last time, disrupting. But I bet he won't make that bet. Yeah. You're getting worked up over nothing. I'm not getting worked up. I'm working out. I'm putting the work in. I'm not, if I was overworked, I would be cussing. I would be talking trash. Basically, I just offered a nice little internet wager. Because Tutu always come in, you know, being negative. So I offer a nice bet. If you say I don't own a car, let's make a bet. Since you know everything, I bet you won't bet. But what's up, chat? I hope y'all having a great day. Hope y'all having a great day. I'm having a pretty good day. Yeah, people really are miserable. But today is Friday. I'm in a good mood. I got time to, I got time to talk to the trolls. As the youngsters call them trolls, I got time to go back and forth today. But he won't challenge that. He won't do it. But the thing about that is that it's a nice, beautiful day on a Friday. This is episode 133 of the Walk Down, season 3. The end of the week, guys. This is the end of week 3 on training for the marathon. That's what this is, the end of week number 3. I got roughly about 8 more weeks left to train, which, when you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing, it goes by real quick. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith has said Trump is coming after everybody. and he ain't stopping. Like, that was so ridiculous when he said that, guys. Like, I was like, bro, you talking about a guy that's on a high level when it comes to sports analysis and the things that he do. Why would he say, like, the president really got time to just pick on any and everybody? That didn't make any sense to me, man. Like, they had been investigating those guys for a very long time. I was even questioning. I'm like, man, these games, they don't seem right. You know, as being somebody that I've been in sports all my life, and I could tell when somebody ain't playing correctly, you know, and a lot of these games, I was just talking about yesterday that LeBron James is skipping a lot of games. And you know what? They put his name in it too. They brought his name up, which is very, very crazy. But the thing is that a lot of games with over the last few years, the big stars are skipping games. And then a lot of times you don't find out about the games. You know, you don't find out that, okay, LeBron James ain't playing tonight, or so-and-so is injured. You don't find out till it's just about tip-off. So 9 times out of 10, most people already done put their bet in. You know what I'm saying? And then if you got inside scoop, knowing that, hey, such and such player is not playing, I'm going to go and let so-and-so know before the word get out so he can go and place his bet. That's what's been going on, guys. That's what's been going on, allegedly. That's what they saying. Crazy. But that's what I was speaking on. I was like, man, this stuff ain't looking right. These games and some of these plays that these players are making, they're not looking right. But then again, on the flip side, what we all know that UFC president and CEO Dana White is Ace Coon Booms. Nobody answered the question. I just told the answer. We do know one sports that is not going to be affected, right? Nobody answered the question, so I'm answering it right now. The UFC, Donald Trump and Dana White are the besties of besties. Nothing is going to happen in the UFC. That's straight up. So on the flip side, Stephen A might have a little point, because guess what I know? I bet that the UFC are also rigging these fights. Yeah, I believe it. The UFC are rigging these fights too, because they, just like I say about football and basketball and baseball, I watch the UFC too. Some of those fights, you could tell, you know what I'm saying, that something is not right about the fights. But I guarantee you this. Dana White ain't got nothing to worry about. I guarantee you this. He don't. And I love the UFC. But the UFC was at its best when it was on Spike, those networks. That's when the UFC was at its best. Now the UFC really got all these big time companies behind them, you know, and everybody is looking for entertainment, and they're willing to entertain at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So, and they know that boring games, not entertaining games, are not going to get the views. Also, that's why, if you notice, in a lot of these sports and a lot of things that's going on the upper level, they're starting to bring in like drama to the scene. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to, like Stephen A. Smith, he's now in politics, guys. A sports guy who we've known for nothing but sports, all of a sudden now, within the last, I would say 2 years for sure, Now, he's in the political arena, which is crazy, you know? But he goes on Fox and acts like he's down with Hannity and them. He don't know what side of the fence he want to be on. In a minute, you know what I'm saying? The politics is something else. In a minute, they gonna make Stephen A. Smith pick a side, bro. Just the other day, he was, what he said about Jasmine Crockett, I kind of agree with him on that, because she's acting a certain type of way, right? When, you know, and she don't need to act that certain type of way when she has a whole district that she's basically trying to get stuff for. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to hold them. You got to know when to fold them for the best in the best interest of your district. You know, and the way she's acting and the things she been portraying, the Trump them like, just give her the mic, just let her talk, because she's gonna hang herself, because a lot of her donation money and a lot of her backing are coming from the rappers. You know what I'm saying? So she gotta have that certain type of swag, you know, to keep that donation money coming in. Because me personally, I think a lot of them don't care. I think they mostly care about the donation money that's coming in. That's what I think they mostly talk. That's what they care about. They don't care about nothing else. You know, so back to, they say, well, go ahead, just give her the microphone. She gonna hang herself. Just let her talk, let her talk, let her talk. And guess what Stephen A. Smith did? I agree with some things that Stephen A. Smith said about the lady, but then he turned around when they came back on him real hard, like he was acting like he was super disrespectful. He turned around and tucked his tail and basically went against everything he was saying, because he was right. You know, it's a certain type of way when you are representing a district when you're in the House and the Senate within government. It's a certain kind of way you got to carry yourself, man. It's a certain type of way, especially when you're a certain type of color. You know, you got to act a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got the energy and everything else, but the words and your swag and how you're communicating, all that, they said, man, just let her have the mic. She gonna hang herself. Just let her have the mic. She gonna hang herself. So with that being said, Stephen A. Smith, once he started getting backlash from the other side, guess what he did? He backtracked on his words. He backtracked. So now he's in the middle. He don't know what he want to do. You know, so then at the same time, can you imagine, bro, this is the most ridiculous. This here is crazy. Can you imagine Stephen A. Smith actually running to be a president? Can you imagine Stephen A. Smith actually running to be the president of the United States? Now, don't get me wrong, he got good communication skills. The speeches and all that stuff, he pretty much got nailed down. But bro, that's how I know this world is changing. When you got a Stephen A. Smith who barely knows sports, you know what I'm saying? Barely knows sports, but do a lot of talking when he's trying to get, barely been in the politic world for a couple of years, and because he has a huge platform, he's talking about running for the president of the United States. That's crazy work. That's crazy. That right there don't make any sense. Meanwhile, we in the government shutdown day 24. Appreciate y'all for joining me, man. I'm on this walk down. I ran 4 miles now. I'm walking another 1.5 miles. We are 20 minutes in on the walk down. This is Friday, day 24 of the shutdown, of the government shutdown. Now, November 1st is a big day. It's 2 things that's supposed to happen on November 1st. With October 27th, if they are still on the lockdown, the shutdown of the government. Possibly millions and millions and millions of people won't get food stamps. And then it's another big day on November 1st. Because on November 1st, everybody that's enrolled in the Affordable Care Act will get to see if their healthcare prices are going to go up, how much the healthcare prices are going to go up, because word is, let me know if you inside of that circle chat, word is that a lot of people have already gotten letters from their insurance company letting them know November 1st is a great possibility that you're going to lose that tax credit and your premiums are going to go up. I seen you somewhere before. I gotta get you out of here. Let's see. Hold on, chat. Yeah. No, I didn't want to do that. Hold up. Hold on, chat. There we go. I had to get that person out of here. So we as citizens need to back the ones that are making good noise. So why don't you run for office? Couldn't be worse than Biden or Harris. Still wouldn't vote for him unless Kamala was running against him. But yeah, Jay Smith. Yeah, I could just imagine what situation would we be in right now. So that right there, conversation right there, woo! I'd rather be in the position that we're in right now than to find out what would have happened if Biden or Harris would have ended up winning, guys. In my opinion, ain't no telling what would have happened. You know, I like the position we are in right now. Well, Stock Sniper, what about the people that are going to get cut off food stamps? Well, I think they need to get a job. That's all. I put up a short yesterday, a place that's hiring. You know, it's places that are hiring. Restaurants in my area are hiring $15, $16 an hour. You know, all you got to do is just get a job and start working and try to downside. You know, you got to make it work out, because we can't expect, well, I would never expect food stamps and all that stuff to last forever. You know, especially with all the government spending. You know, then there's people that saying that, okay, they're going to possibly cut food stamps, but then at the same time give Argentina a check. So it's different ways you can kind of look at it. You know, government spending, but at the same time spending it in a totally different area. So you got to look at it totally different ways. But you know, man, my opinion is that people got to have more of the mindset of going to work, you know, going to school. And if you are on food stamps, or you know somebody that's on food stamps, you know, this should be a valuable lesson, you know, where you can say, well, okay, I need them for right now, but this is only going to be temporary. I'm going to go to school, and I'm going to use this government assistance to help me until I graduate, until I land me a job. You know, that's what it's originally is for anyway. That's what it's for anyway. So we gotta have that type of mindset. Cause I know a lot of people that get that stuff and they in the club 3 times a week. So I know people that get that stuff, and stay up all night, when they could be going to sleep, going to school, going to work. Now, I don't know that many people, actually I don't know anybody that actually used it in the right way. That used it for like, okay, I made some mistakes and I'm gonna use it until I get on my feet. I don't know nobody that used that just for that. Nobody. So if there is somebody, I can't recall them. It's more people that I know that abuse it than really use it, and to help them out for the time being until they get on their feet. Most people I know stay on it for generations and generations and generations. And it's a hard time for them to get off. And a lot of people I know would rather stay on that stuff than actually make more money, which is a mindset, But hey, I hope they realize it looks like it's coming to an end for right now. That's what it looked like. It's coming to an end for right now. Only thing is, I think it's unfair that you want to cut those things, but you steady want to give money to people overseas. I don't think that's cool. You'll stop giving money to the people overseas that are on the other side, but then when it comes to the people that are on your side, right, you ain't gonna cut nothing that they got going on. That's what I think. That's not speaking volumes of the people that I hang around. That speaks volumes of the people that I know. That I know in my 52 years of living. And most people, I don't know. So you telling me, James Smith, that you know a lot of people that's been on welfare housing and they actually only used it just to get on their feet? I can ask 1,000 people that if I wanted to. And I can ask 1,000 people because I believe everybody knows people that are on food stamps, I ain't gonna say Medicaid, but food stamps and housing, particularly those two. I know it's a lot of people that know people that are on those government programs. And I don't think too many people can say the people that I know that was on government assistance actually did use it for what it was used for, to get on your feet, get a job, get an education, and then get off of the county. I know a lot of white people, I know a lot of Mexican people, I know a lot of black people, and all of them that I know, I don't recall now one of them that had ever owned that stuff actually using it just to get through school and then get a good job and get off of it. I don't know nobody. And I believe that if we did a poll of 1,000 people, a realistic poll, majority of those people gonna say the same thing that I'm just saying. Now don't get me wrong, it's probably some people that know somebody. Of course, it's gonna be somebody that has actually used it for what it's used for. But realistically, the real numbers, if you was doing number for number and the government actually did a poll on it, I guarantee you, 7 out of 10 people, 70% of the people that's been on food stamps and housing and receiving all this government assistance, I believe that 70% of the people actually don't ever get off of it. That's what I believe. People make careers out of welfare generally. I have seen people use Pell Grants. I'm not talking about Pell Grants. Now, I'm not talking about a Pell Grant. See, I didn't say anything about student loans or none of that. I didn't say anything about that. I'm basically talking about food stamps and housing. You off subject. I'm not talking, that's not welfare. That's not welfare. Pell Grants and student loans is a loan from the government to get you to go through school. But I do know a lot of people, when it comes to that are in student debt. Yes, they graduated. Yes, all the this, that, and the third. But there's also a lot of people that I know that acquires a whole lot of student debt. But I'm not talking about that. You're not listening. I said specifically the two things I was talking about. When you're talking about Pell Grants and student loans, that's not welfare, bro. It's not welfare. It's not. So come on now. Listen to what I'm saying. Pay attention. You trying to throw it off to something else. And this is not about student loans and Pell Grants. This is not, in a Pell Grant, you don't have to pay back. If you go to school to be a welder or something like that, and you qualify for a Pell Grant, Pell Grants, you don't have to pay back. So I don't even understand why you would even bring up a Pell Grant. Like, that's a totally different subject for a totally different live. We're talking about August the 27th, right? No, October 27th and November 1st. The two big days. October 27th. If that government don't come to some type of agreement and open up this government, millions and millions and millions of people, generations of people, because don't get it twisted, it's parents that are on this stuff, right along with grandparents and kids. So November 1st, if they don't come up with that date, they don't come up with the opening of this government, we're going to see something that I definitely haven't seen in my whole existence. As millions and millions of people, food stamps don't click on. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no student loans and no Pell Grants. That's not what, why would you bring up Pell Grants? That's not what the live is about. The live is not about student loans and student. This live is not about student loans and student Pell Grants. It's not what this is about. That's something totally different. You know, but people do get those Pell Grants. Well, a Pell Grant you don't have to pay back. But a student loan, you got to pay back. You know, subsidized and unsubsidized loans and stuff like that. So if you're talking about college, I got 3 kids that went through college. I got 1 kid right now that goes to the University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns. They got a big game tomorrow, by the way. So yeah, I know a lot about when it comes to those Pell Grants and student loans and scholarships and all this, that, and the third. I know a lot about that. I got 3 daughters. 1 went to Baylor. One went to one is going to the University of Texas right now. So I know a lot about those things. Shout out to the University of Texas. Shout out to Baylor University. Shout out to all those schools. And yes, those schools are great when it comes to if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, nursing, finance. If you want to go to school for technology, go to universityoftexas.com for more information. That's right. Well, Stock Sniper, Didn't your other daughter go to Baylor? Yeah. Well, why you not promoting Baylor? Let me get that going. I'm not promoting Baylor because I'm not a Baylor alumni. Shout out to University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns. Shout out to Peyton Manning. Shout out to Eli Manning. Shout out to Arch Manning. And shout out to Archibald. Yeah, we had high expectations for you, Arch Manning. But guess what? You gotta grow. And guess what? You got to understand that we didn't understand at the beginning of the year. It takes time to shine. Because guess what? My thing is I want to see my University of Texas Longhorns win the national championship again before God take me home. Last time we won the national championship was in 2005. 2 years in a row, we was knocking at the door. Man, all I want is for the University of Texas Longhorns to win the national championship game one more time before God called me home. I'm 52 years old right now, and I think God gonna keep me here a little while longer. That's what I need. I need the University of Texas Longhorns to win another national championship in football. And that's all I need. Yeah. And guess what? I was super excited about Arch Manning taking us to the next level. Yeah, we're the #1 team in the nation. Arch Manning gonna win the Heisman Trophy this year. Yeah, we're on a whole nother level. For sure, we're gonna win the national championship game this year. Then guess what happened? We had to go to Ohio State. We had to go to Ohio State to go meet those Ohio State Buckeyes. And man. A great game, by the way. But guess what? We expected Arch Manning to be Superman. We expected him to go up there to the shoe, open up. Shout out to Oklahoma State University. We expected him to go up there to the shoe and throw 3-4 touchdowns, throw for 300-400 yards, and handle business up there in the shoe. And guess what? It didn't happen. Lord have mercy. So they brought us back down to reality. You gotta come back, you gotta calm down, Longhorn Nation. You gotta calm down and understand that Arch Manning is only a sophomore. Okay? He's only a sophomore. I think he started maybe 1 or 2 games last year. Let's start from the beginning. One mistake we made, and we pushed yours out of the door. That was a huge mistake. So now we got to wait and see the development of Arch Manning. Now we got a big game in 3 weeks, in 2 or 3 weeks. What is that game, Stock Sniper? We got to go to Georgia, Atlanta, and play those Georgia Bulldogs. If we could get past the Georgia Bulldogs in 3 weeks, guess what? We right back where we need to be. So guess what, Longhorn Nation? It take time, growth and development. And Arch Manning, we want to see his growth and development. If he can get past Georgia, we rack back in this daggone thing. Y'all see that they dropped us down all the way down to 18. We beat Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout, and they dropped us all, and they didn't even put us in the top 10. They didn't even put us in the top 10. Yeah, the Ohio State University. Shout out to Ohio State University down there in the shoe. Yeah, we thought, man, I had that date circled. Ready to rock and roll, because Ohio State knocked us out last year. We were 1 game away from the national championship game. And yours, I'll never forget it. Turn the ball over, we about to score. We were about to score. Turnover. And that linebacker from Ohio State University, I know he's playing somewhere in the NFL right now. He ran it all the way back. And guess what I did, chat? I cried like a baby, man. Because I said, God, I'm 52 years old. One of my biggest dreams is to see my Texas Longhorns win another championship before God called me home. Yeah. And guess what? We, as a nation, as the Longhorn Nation, we thought Arch Manning was going to be that one. Some of us were saying, man, we're going to get probably about 2 or 3 NCAA. We're going to get about 2 or 3 national championships out of Arch. Some people were saying he was going to go to the New Orleans Saints, first round draft pick. A lot of people was already putting him in the NFL. Or, well, he gonna come to Texas. He's going to play one good year. He's going to win the Heisman Trophy. We're going to win the national championship. And then guess what? He's going to go and get drafted by his hometown, New Orleans. Shout out to New Orleans and shout out to New Orleans Saints. But it don't look like it's going to happen. I like Texas and Tennessee and UCLA and LSU. Yeah, I like them teams too. I like LSU. Yeah, I like those teams too. I like college football better than I like the environment. It's, the college football environment is a better experience to me than the NFL. Like, I love college football. I love the college atmosphere. I guess because my daughter's going through college. That's probably it. But I love college football. Like, college football, college basketball. I love it. I went to the Super Bowl and I had a better time when the University of Houston. See, I went to the Super Bowl and then I went to the NCAA college basketball national championship, Florida against the University of Houston. I had a better time at that NCAA national championship than I did at the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl, I think it was because, well, one thing that happened before the Super Bowl, that dude went down that road and killed all them people on Bourbon Street, that terrorist attack. And maybe that's what it was, because it was National Guard and military everywhere, guys. And I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that feeling at all. See, but that's why I hope that National Guard stuff, that's not a good feeling to me. That's why I really don't like the fact that the National Guard, that Trump is putting National Guard on a lot of these cities and stuff like that, because I didn't like that feeling. Like, I didn't like that feeling of being, at a super event like that, and you got people over there with AKs. I felt like I was on an army base or something. I said it. Yeah, I felt like I was on an army base. Oh, here we go. I've blocked 2 people today, chat. All right. I blocked 2 people from this chat. Usually I don't block nobody. Usually I don't have to block nobody. But I've blocked 2 people today. And guess what, guys? You see how long it took me to block the person? That's how you know. The people that come in this chat usually are really good people. But, it's going to be bozos that come in every now and then. But today it's twice. That's not good. I don't like that, guys, because I don't like blocking people. But if you being disrespectful like that, then I gotta get you out of here. Which, if I didn't get you out of here, and then 9 times out of 10, those people don't come back anyway. That's why I really don't like blocking people. Now, people could come in, and say like old boy said earlier, talking about I don't have a car. That's okay. Maybe that's what you think, because you're not used to nobody exercising. You ain't used to nobody running in a marathon, so you think, people that walk a lot in some people's world are people that don't have a car. They're not comprehending that, okay, maybe this guy is working out. He's like on a track. Like maybe this guy is working out. So just like, people go through different situations in life. People go through different things in life. So, everybody's journey is different. Just like my experience, like I was talking about earlier, my experience with knowing people in real life and seeing people in real life that get on food stamps and housing and don't never get off. That's my experience, So if some people probably do, if you don't exercise, you don't know nobody that really come out here and put the work in. You've never ran 4 or 5 miles in a day. You've never participated in a marathon. Nobody actually gets up off the couch and exercise. Maybe the only time that you walk, if you don't have a car, if you need a ride, you're not really thinking that, okay, comprehending that, okay, it is a possibility that somebody can walk 4 or 5 miles a day just for exercise, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's good. By the way, this is The Walk Down, Season 3, right around episode 133 or 134. Some people may just need to help themselves. Yeah, that's right. We all can grow. We all can get better. We all can get better. I'm helping myself right now by exercising, by walking. I'm not only helping my physical health, I'm also helping my mental health. The goal is to get better every day. Every day, I focus on trying to get better. I focus on trying to treat people better. I focus on trying to treat myself better. I focus on being positive. That's what I focus on every single day. That's the goal, guys, in 2025 and beyond. We got to get better at whatever. And if you wake up every single day with that type of thinking, look, today, I'm just trying to be better than what I was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Today might not be as better as yesterday. So I still got to keep going. Still got to keep going. That's why it's very important to find something that you love to do. You know what I'm saying? Find something you love to do and work on that. Like, I love running. I love walking on this track. I love talking on this YouTube channel. I practice on and I focus on doing the things that I love to do, that I want to do. And everything else comes after that. That's how it works, guys. That's how you turn a grind, because you know what they say, life is a grind. Practice is a grind. This, that, and the third is a grind. It's not a grind if you love doing it. Some people say, dang, Stock Sniper, I wish I could run 8 miles a day when I was running 8 miles a day. It's something that I love to do. I love doing it. So it's not a grind. It's like tying my shoes, brushing my teeth, or combing my hair. I like doing it. For instance, if let's say I work in a plant, right? But I really don't like it. I just do it because they pay good. What that means is that probably 7 times out of 10, I'm not gonna have a lot of great days at work. Why? Because I don't like it. I'm complaining about how hot it is in the plant. I'm complaining about how dirty it is in the plant, or whatever the case may be. But if I love changing a motor, if I love changing the transmission, if I love working on cars, guess what's gonna happen? Wherever I work at, I'm gonna love it because I love doing what I do. That right there. When I learned that, man, let me focus on learning something. Focus on learning something that I love to do, and stay right there, and find the best ways how to monetize it on the back end. That's what I did. That's why I could come out here and do this and not even really trip about it, because I love doing it. I've been walking for 52 minutes now, and it feels like I only been walking for 10. Unlike when I was like in my 20s, I was working in warehouses. You know, working in these places, I'm watching the clock. Oh, I can't wait till 3 o'clock here. I can't wait till lunchtime. A lot of people in the chat, you probably understand what I'm talking about. You go to work, and then you can't wait to get off. You know? That's how I was when I couldn't find my way. You know, but when I found my passion, I focused on my passion. And guess what? When you're doing that, you don't even focus on the time. You just do what you do. You know? That's just like basketball. How you expect to be a good basketball player and you don't like practice? You gotta like practice. You gotta like everything about the game, except the cheating. You know the cheating that they doing these days? Yeah, they cheating and getting over and scamming people out their money and rigging games. That's not cool. And then they try to cover it up by having these high-scoring games. But to the people, that's why a lot of people that I know that actually really play sports, that played Little League ball, that played junior high ball, that played high school ball, and played some college ball. A lot of people really that I know, it's a lot of them that don't even watch it. They really don't watch it now because the game done changed. It done changed. And now with all this sports betting, where they're promoting sports betting before, during, and after the games, we see the results right now. It's ugly. You got players throwing games, bro. You got players that's making tens of millions of dollars a year throwing games on the side, bro. Throwing games on the side. Crazy work. Stock Sniper, come on now. You know you would love to get that inside information. If you knew Chauncey Billups and all them, and they call you up while you doing the walk down, and Chauncey Billups them call you up and say, "Look out, Stock Sniper. Look, I got the scoop. Steph Curry ain't playing tonight, bro. You might want to go and take that under." Hey guys, chat. That's what's been going on. I can't even lie, chat. If I knew Chauncey Billups or one of them guys, yeah, I'm gonna want to get the scoop on the rundown. And then guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go right to my favorite app. I'm gonna take if Golden State is playing the Lakers, and I get the scoop from one of the players that I know. Hey, look, Stock Sniper. I'm gonna tell you right now. They have not announced it yet. But Steph Curry is hurt, bro. Steph Curry is probably not going to play but a quarter. Steph Curry is probably going to only play a half. Steph Curry is probably not going to play tonight. Oh, thank you for the heads up, bro. Then I go right there to my favorite site. And instead of choosing Steph Curry on the over, I pick him on the under. That's crazy work. But that's what's been happening, guys. That's what's been happening. That's inside info on the booking. Don't judge me, chat. I ain't gonna sit here and say, if I knew one of them guys and they had the under, I ain't gonna sit here and say, hey, look, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Stock Sniper, I know you like to bet on the app. I got a good one for you. Nobody knows what's about to happen tonight, but I do. Look, boom, 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 bam. I ain't gonna say no thank you, bro. I don't want the inside scoop. Ain't no way I'm gonna do that. Don't judge me, chat. I'm just keeping it real. The NBA is rigged and generally, Real Alexander push off every time he touches the ball and they never call. Right. I was started noticing that last year. If anybody that was in the chat, because I was going live during the games and commentary, and if you've been on my lives before, when we're watching the games, I would always say last year, something ain't right. Something ain't right about these games. Because I'm looking at the games. I'm looking at the plays. Because, I look at the games from two different lenses. I look at the games for entertainment, and then I look at the games as if I was a player. That's how I look at these games. And I really study them and look at them. Like, hold up. This is not right. And I'm watching them blow calls. I'm watching coaches making dumb decisions. Like what I was talking about yesterday. They're going for it on fourth. Nowadays, they're going for it on fourth down like it's a video game. I'm like, hold up, man. You in your own territory. And you going for it on fourth down. This is not Madden. Once I started seeing that, I say, man, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, just about every football team, if y'all notice, they go for it on fourth down. If they even close to the 50-yard line, or even sometime in their own territory, they going for it on fourth down. And as a football player, as a former football player, as a former coach, as a former referee, yeah, I did all three of them, guys. That just didn't sit right. Ain't no way I'm gonna be in my own territory, especially on some of these situations, and I'm gonna go for it, and I'm in my own territory. I'm gonna punt the ball. So a lot of these, that's why I say, hold on, hey, a lot of this stuff is paid off. You got players doing things that absolutely they shouldn't be doing. Like, hold on, man, It's like, I ain't seen Digital Dre in a while, but Digital Dre usually come in when I do my sports commentary. But I ain't been doing it in a while. And we was talking about that last year. Like, man, this stuff is not looking right. And boom, guess what happened? They coming down with rigging games like they did. Shout out to FBI Director Petraeus. Shout out to Cash Petraeus, our FBI Director. Yeah, shout out to him. Because they shouldn't be doing that, guys. When you got people that's, betting, you know what I'm saying? And you throwing the games and only certain people know. That's not cool. Just like my ticket got blown on Monday Night Football. My ticket got blown. Now I'm thinking, well, hey, maybe I had some inside information and I was on the wrong end of the stick. That's just like the University of Houston versus the Florida Gators in that NCAA championship game. Another play I would never forget. We had a 10-point lead, and then we blew the lead, and then we had the ball left with seconds left on the clock. And now the point guard fumbles the basketball to end the game. Just like that, it was over. Who knows? Maybe he threw it. Maybe he threw it and blew the whole ticket. Crazy word. That's why I can't stand that Florida Gators fight song. Go Gators! Go Gators! Bro, I can't stand. Shout out to the University of Florida, though. Shout out to the University of Florida. But I can't stand what y'all did in that NCAA basketball championship game against the Houston Cougars. And I can't. And then they turn around and beat my Longhorns. And I couldn't stand that fight song. Yeah, because Kermit the Frog is paying the refs off. Yeah, they're getting paid off. But then I was seeing some earlier chat that that LeBron James' name got brought up in the FBI report. I hope LeBron James ain't been throwing no games, guys. Because we all know, last couple of years, LeBron James been missing games. LeBron James will act like he hurt. I hope LeBron James is not a part of this, guys. If LeBron James is a part of this, it's over. The NBA is through. They also said they're coming for the NFL. Stephen A. Smith said they're coming for everybody. That's what Stephen A. Smith said. But of course, he's not talking about the UFC. Now, he's not talking about the UFC. Be careful on that road, man. There must be Bigfoot watching you. Now, this not a road. This the outside gym. Over there, where I'm finna go right now, is the golf course. See? Hold on, I'm about to go over there. Everybody playing golf. This is the gym, the exercise gym. Over there's the golf course. See, look, watch. As I go around this corner right here. I've walked 3 miles, guys. I ran 4 and walked 3. Look. All right, firefighter Jimmy. Appreciate you for joining. Firefighter Jimmy, appreciate you for your service. Yeah, firefighters and the police officers, guys, we gotta thank them for their service all the time. They are the real heroes, guys. The firefighters, the police officers, and people of service. That really, I talk about putting the work in. A firefighter, yeah, that's putting the work in. So shout out to them. But I think I'm ending it right here, guys. Appreciate y'all for joining me. To the next one, I'm out.